Hey, Justice Served TV, as we told you, we were on vacation, but we're not because we're never on vacation. We're here with you.
And luckily joining us is the man who brought justice for ASAP Rocky, Joe Tacopina, coming right up.
Justice, where are you? Michael and Linda are here.
Love you, Linda.
The world is justice. Will we ever find justice?
The courthouse the other day in the hallway, you're singing
Will
"Oh
we
Happy
know
Day."
justice when we see it? To be and down me, I lead the way. Hoping justice will win the day. Dictionary clues, finding justice where we can. Join us now, we're on the run. Justice is waiting, we'll see it done.
And happy Thanksgiving week. How's your week off going so far? Good?
You're asking me? My week is actually going very well. Look, I once had a friend who had very bad cancer and he survived, so thank God. And one morning I went outside and he was there and it was a really rainy, nasty morning. And I said, how's the day? It's kind of nasty. He said, every day I get up and I celebrate life is a wonderful day. So I think about that every day. So it's a wonderful day.
Yep, I agree. Every day that you pop up, it's a great day. And so what we thought we would do, because we haven't talked to Joe in so long, he's got his hands in a number of things. We thought we'd bring him on. We know he's got limited time, so we're not going to fool around here. We're going to bring the guy on immediately. There he is. Joe, how are you, man?
Hey, Michael, how are you?
Looking as dapper as usual, and congratulations on the marriage of your son, Chris. Has always been a guest.
Thank you.
Yep, some great pictures.
Fabulous. Great family.
Thanks, guys.
Hey, before let me do this first. Before we get into where he is now and what's going on, I think it's only right that we just kind of take a look at where things have been.
The jury's not here. I have every right, obligation, and duty to stand up here and point out when he was being unethical. The first time the court catches me being unethical, Your Honor, the court knows. That'll be the first time. The court knows I don't do that. Oh, court knows.
Got to be the first time. Got to be the first time if he's unethical. And of course, anytime we hear Mr. Lewin, things happen. All right.
Oof. Boy,
Yeah.
I wasn't really quite ready for that voice right off the bat. It's like, oh my God, I forgot about that. But
Michael has a way of surprising all of us, right?
That's just that was a wild trial. It was wild.
Say goodbye to him after the trial. He seemed to leave very quickly. I don't know what happened, but
I can't imagine. I can't imagine why.
You mean he hasn't called you for dinner and Broadway theater?
No, or to go to his favorite donut shop that he spoke to the jury about in his summation for like 30 minutes. No.
Oh man, those were the days. Can you believe that was just in January and February? It was. I mean, that's not that long ago.
I know it feels like it was forever ago. I had 2 other trials since then. It's just seeing that whole thing just now and listen to the voice, that grating, constantly complaining voice. That's all right. That's all right. All's well that ends well there.
We're trying to wish you a happy Thanksgiving by having you talking about the most amazing cases you have coming up. And so we'll put that one aside for the moment, but it's not put aside for us. We'll talk about it later.
Okay, great. So how have you guys been? Great?
Good.
We're great.
Yeah.
We're great.
Yeah.
We're
You know,
great.
this is I'm amazed at this. We have roughly 10 times the subs that we had when we last spoke with you during the ASAP Rocky trial.
Really?
We're in the 33,000 range.
I jump on every now and then to watch you guys when I have some time. You guys are you're unique. Let's put it that way. You tackle issues as seasoned lawyers, both know what to do, and it's fascinating to watch you because you really do get information watching your show. So it's great.
I appreciate that. We weren't fishing, but I'm just amazed at what has happened in the 9 months. You know, it's crazy.
Yeah, we gave birth. We gave birth to 5 million views.
Good for you guys.
Anyhow, Michael has the first question, because I have so many questions.
Well, I want to, since we just dabbled in the trial, you were successful in winning there in L.A. Then there was the offshoot civil case, right? And with ASAP Relly, the star witness, the best witness anybody's ever heard.
Star, what a star! Yeah.
I mean, the model witness.
Yeah.
What's happening there?
I don't really know. We switched lawyers. Is that one lawyer who was going to teach me a lesson dropped out of the case there. What's her name? Camille, whatever. She was big talking, and then all of a sudden she vacated quickly after that verdict. So I think he has first he was going pro se, then he had another lawyer pick that. I mean, you got to be nuts to take that case on a contingency because you're going to be doing a lot of work. I mean, unless they maybe just missed the criminal trial or missed his testimony, and they thought, oh, this is a great case. But I really don't know. He dismissed the civil assault claim. He dismissed it. Yet, apparently, is still going forward with the defamation claim against Rocky and myself. But it's
unbelievable.
How do you prove the defamation without proving the assault?
Right.
And I think the jury has spoken on the issue of defamation. I said he was an extortionist, committing extortion. There was a little bit of a tape that was played in front of that jury where he said, if he gives me $30 million, I'll disappear to an island. Now, don't forget, at first he said, that's not me. That's not me.
That's right.
It's AI. It's, they did some crazy stuff on that tape, and then he wanted to know why the guy, ratted on him. But I thought it wasn't you. But, that was just like reliving that cross it was fun. It was fun, but, so anyway, I don't know really what they're doing with that case. I mean, so it wasn't him that extorted money, tried to extort money from Rocky, but it was him. So I whatever. We'll have fun with that, please. If I get a chance to cross-examine him again, it'd be.
Oh,
do it
sell
for free.
tickets.
Oh,
Sell tickets. Come on.
Anyway, so I don't know what's going on with it. I mean, I don't really know where it's going. I don't know what, whatever law firm thought that was a good idea to pick that case up when the Shepard Mullen firm dropped it. Well, best of luck to them. Hope they make something from it.
Well, keep us posted on that.
Yeah, keep us posted because, there's ways to get publicity. That's not one of them.
Yeah, if I were him at this point, I'd sort of try and, put my head in the sand and wait a couple of years and resurface, hopefully reinvent yourself and stop playing in this very, very unsuccessful field that he's been playing in.
Yeah. Well, of course, we wish you well, and we all know what the truth is here. We all witnessed it.
Yeah,
Right.
you witnessed it, exactly.
We did.
So you have another high-profile case that we were all really interested in, and that is Wendy Williams.
Wendy, yeah.
Talk to us about it.
How's she doing?
She's doing great. I mean, she really is. For someone who's going through what she's going through, she's doing great. She is in this horrific guardianship. I mean, I'm not a guardianship attorney, so I'm not pretending to understand it all. That being said, I cannot believe she's in the vortex of this thing and can't get out. It's been 3 years. I mean, Wendy and I have had conversations over the last year and a half that were very detailed, very factual, very long. And the one thing that is clear is that she does not have dementia. I mean, dementia, frontal lobal dementia, where they're saying basically she has a form of dementia. She doesn't. I've never had a conversation with her where she's forgotten anything, including my name or what she had just said. I mean, we have fluid conversations. I mean, Wendy's Wendy. She's, a little excitable when she speaks, and she's very passionate about when she speaks and what she's saying. But it's really something that to me is a horrible situation for anyone to be in, especially someone like Wendy. I mean, at least she has got a platform and could expose this. But to me, what I'm seeing here is something that is really scary. What happened to her should really never happen to someone else. And I'm glad, I guess, that Wendy certainly has said, look, I'm glad my experience is shining a light on a system that needs real oversight and real compassion, because the guardianship system is so broken. It is something that, to me, having been dealing with, it requires transparency. And not only is it not transparency, it is clothed in secrecy. It is it's one of the strongest cases I've seen where someone is being absolutely misdiagnosed Yet people have locked in and refused to take positions where, she is clearly doesn't have dementia. See, what happened was back in 2024, she did that A&E Lifetime documentary, which was a disaster. And I wasn't representing her at that point, but it was a disaster. She was in a situation where she was a full-blown alcoholic. And Wendy Williams is loved. I got to tell you, from all the people I've represented, from President Trump to A$AP Rocky to all the people along the way, Meek Mill, there's no one that people have responded to as much as Wendy Williams. People love her, love her, and have always asked me, "How's Wendy? Is she going to be okay? Is she going to be okay?" So it's really something that opened my eyes to this whole world of guardianship. She's someone who back in 2024, 23, was an alcoholic, full blown, like raging alcoholic. And in this documentary that they did, on her, she was drunk the entire time. If you've seen it, I mean, she barely could put a sentence together. She's passing out. I mean, it really was put her in a horrible light. I don't think it was very fair that they did that to her, but it is something that was done. She was then apparently put into a guardianship because she allegedly had a form of dementia.
Can I just stop you? Who puts her into a guardianship for people?
Yeah, that's the good question. It started out where Wells Fargo, the bank, actually called the guardianship authorities in New York City, because she apparently had some money taken from her bank account by one of her children, and without her consent, and the bank was trying to reach her to verify it, and unfortunately, she was not responsive. She was drunk all the time, so she got in the sort of vortex of this guardianship situation. And okay, that's fine. And she didn't really oppose getting some guidance when it came to her monitoring her finances and her alcohol problem. But so she really didn't understand what she was getting herself into. And what she wound up getting herself into was a full-blown guardianship where her rights were taken away from her to be a human being, to make decisions. I mean, she's on a floor. Now, we're going on almost 3 years. She's on a floor where there are people don't know their names. They're 80, 90 years old, in a facility where she's paying, according to her, about $18,000 a month. Okay,
I'm going to stop you there because my mother was in a facility for years too, and there's a big difference when you really have a dementia issue,
correct,
and you don't know your name, and you're going downhill, versus people that are just sick or have issues as a result of alcoholism that they can get out of.
Well, you can't get out of dementia. So here's the thing. Every
Right.
neurologist I've spoken to, and we've spoken to the top, has said one thing. Dementia doesn't get better. You can't cure it. It's not something that, okay, I had dementia, but she took some pills and now she's better. That does not happen. Dementia deteriorates over time. It doesn't get any better. You can't get better. And so, unfortunately, she wound up in this situation where, it looked like she had something that was misdiagnosed as a form of frontal temporal lobal dementia or something like that. And it turned out to be, in fact, alcohol-induced dementia, which is just when you're blackout drunk, when you're so drunk you don't remember anything because of alcoholism, not a neurological disorder. And so what happened was, she was placed into this program. And then when she stopped drinking, because Wendy won't even look at alcohol at this point, and I've been with her as recently as, 2 weeks ago. She only drinks water or sometimes soda, I guess, but never, ever, never alcohol. And she's better. She's different. I mean, Harvey Levin, TMZ, did a great interview, something called Saving Wendy, I think it was called, but it was a 1-hour documentary where he interviewed her. And this is that famous thing where she's standing behind that glass wall in, her room where she's incarcerated is almost the right word. And she was there answering questions from Harvey about guardianship and the process and what happened. What really was telling was that Harvey then started throwing current event questions at her in no particular order, just to test her. And she nailed every single one of them. And it was like, okay, that's very powerful proof that she does not have dementia. And not once during that 1 hour did she repeat herself, forget what she was saying. And I will tell you, I swear, in the year or so I've been with her, I've never had a conversation where I said, "Uh-oh, maybe she does have dementia." She's never. I mean, I think I've forgotten things more than she has.
I was going to say I should be so lucky.
Right. So
procedurally, I know that Wells Fargo was running the guardianship, but then you had there was a neurologist just a couple of weeks ago that basically said she doesn't have this dementia, and now Wells Fargo's out and somebody else is in.
Wells Fargo's not in part of it anymore. They initiated this process.
Okay.
Then the court appointed a guardian. And this guardian has been Wendy's, let's see.
Nemesis? Would that be a good word?
What's that? Nemesis? Well, nemesis is a word, but I think the real word is her gatekeeper. I mean, Wendy Williams can't go out of that facility unless the guardian gives her permission. She wants to go to Starbucks to get a coffee. That's not happening. It's astonishing. So when she's able to get out to see her family, because I've heard the quote that, she's able to see her family. Yeah, if the guardian approves it, she's able to see her family. That's not freedom of movement or freedom of choice. As a matter of fact, on her birthday this year, Wendy likes to celebrate. Wendy likes to have a good time. Wendy likes to be around people. She's in a facility where she cannot leave unless she's given permission. And on her birthday this year, I mean, we want to talk about it not being punitive. Here's why it is. She was not permitted to go out for her birthday. She was told initially, she made plans. All her friends were waiting for her at a restaurant. And then at the last minute, she was denied permission to go out on her birthday for a dinner. No one in the world could ever tell me why. And the problem with this whole process, this whole guardianship process, is as her attorney, I've seen firsthand how a guardianship system with little transparency and almost no accountability can devastate a person's life. Wendy's experience is not an outlier, unfortunately. It's a warning. And there's a commission now that's looking into what's called Wendy's Law in New York, that I think is going to hopefully get some traction. And it needs to, because this stuff is just scary. It's just really scary that anyone could be in this situation. I could walk down Midtown Manhattan right now. I could walk downstairs, take 2-block walk, and find 5 people on the street who belong in a guardianship, way more than Wendy Williams.
Let me ask you this. It seems to me that follow the money. Who's paying for the $18,000 a month? Okay.
Wendy.
And who gets paid for commissions, and who's able to spend her money? I know these are hard questions.
The guardian, not Wendy. So the guardian's getting paid. Look, there's financial motivations here. I hate to be so blunt.
That's the question I'm asking you. You know that.
There are financial motivations here. Why keep her in guardianship if she doesn't need it? Well, people stand to make a lot of money. That place is making, $250,000 a year just having Wendy as a guest, if you will. There's a lawsuit against Lifetime A&E, whoever did that documentary, a massive lawsuit that was initiated by the Guardian. They're calling for about $20 million, I believe. That's a lot of money. People stand to make money off Wendy Williams being in this guardianship. People have made money off it. The guardian gets fees. I mean, there's that portion of it, and that's troubling because Wendy's assets are being, dissipated, and to me, it really it strips her of her dignity. It really does, and she doesn't deserve that. No one deserves that. But that's where she is now, and so it's a situation. And then when you couple the fact that there have been lines now drawn in the sand on both sides, right? She does have dementia. No, she doesn't have dementia. No one wants to be proven wrong this publicly and this loudly, but eventually they will be proven wrong. She does not have dementia. I mean, one of the top neurologists in the United States of America, okay, Dr. Gandhi, he just came to the conclusion after a diagnosis, a medical examination, that she does not have any form of dementia. So now what? Now what are they going to do? New Yorkers, and not just New Yorkers, people in this country deserve a guardianship system that protects them, not one that they need protection from. And right now, Wendy needs protection from this system.
So what's the next step then? You have this medical information that's really sounds unassailable to me when you talk about the credentials of this guy. And if that's the reason for the guardianship, where do you go to dissolve that, and what are your options?
And can I have another question? How do they get you in? They're trying to keep you out, right? Because they say the guardian represents
The last
her.
thing in the world
She
they want
wants
us to
you,
see
right? Okay.
my
So
walk into
you
that
know I'm
courtroom.
asking you this hard question because I want people to know that if Joe would love to have her on the stand, I would imagine, and talk to people on the stand, broadcast in front of everybody. So
I want to speak to the doctor in front of a jury, not a judge who may or may not have made up her mind already. I want to speak to the doctor in front of a jury that's going to testify under oath with degree of medical certainty that Wendy Williams is suffering from dementia. Please. And then they could explain to me how she must be a scientific miracle because she had dementia 3 years ago in that documentary and she wasn't able to complete a sentence. And somehow she got better because she'd be the first. She'd be the first person in medical history that's on the books to ever recover from dementia. You don't do that. It's because she didn't have dementia. So what's next is the guardianship attorneys, the ones who do this, and this is not a field I would ever want to participate in, are in a situation where they have to file a petition based on this new finding. Okay, then we'll see how long that takes. I mean, they've promised Wendy that by the end of the year she'd be out of the guardianship. I don't see that happening. But ultimately, what can happen is if she doesn't get the relief that she is requiring before the court, she can request a jury trial. And that's where I'll come in handy. And I think this would be the quickest verdict of my life. I don't think the jury would have to leave the box, honest to God. Wendy would testify. I mean, I would cross-examine whoever they threw up there to try and say she has dementia. And it's just sad. I mean, I struggle sometimes where I'm sitting at a restaurant or something, having a dinner, and I think of her stuck in that room. Like, I remember I asked Reverend Sharpton to go see her as a clergy. You know, he's a media person.
It's like One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, right? You can't get out. You can't get out.
He couldn't even get in.
Can she call people and get on the phone and do like a show from her phone, or is she prohibited from making phone calls?
She can, but it then winds up with some punitive response, like you're not going to your birthday dinner or something. I mean, apparently her coming to my son's wedding, which I invited her to as a returning, you know, she got permission to leave. Well, that caused her bodyguard to be fired, apparently.
Oh,
I mean, it's the level. Look,
Who is this person?
Wendy is not being protected. She's being punished. And what should have been a safeguard became a system of control that limited her voice, her choices, and her dignity. No guardianship should ever feel like a sentence, guys. No guardianship should feel like a sentence, but Wendy's does. Okay, decisions are made without her input, about her. I mean, she can speak. If you guys spoke on the phone, you'd think, yeah, that's Wendy Williams, the woman I've seen on. You know, the judge in this case actually said part of the reason why she thinks Wendy has mental disabilities, and I forget the exact language she used, but she said one of the reasons is that Wendy uses these terms repeatedly, like, you know what I'm saying? Or how you doing? You know what I'm saying? Or how you doing? And that's indicia of someone who's not mentally all there. If you've watched Wendy Williams in the last 20 years on her show, thing. Those are her two taglines. How you doing?
Yeah.
Well, you know what I'm saying? You know, when I speak to her, she says, you know what I'm saying?
Wait,
that's
didn't Relly on the stand say, do you feel me? Do you know what I had? Wasn't there issues in that case, the same thing?
Relly cursed on the witness stand. Wendy's never cursed on the witness stand. Relly threw a water bottle. Relly said, I'm not answering your questions anymore.
I remember that.
Like, that's, who needs a guardianship? I mean, it's just crazy. It really is crazy that these things are happening to her, because it really does feel punitive at this point. Imagine she just wants to go get a coffee or go to lunch or see a friend. She can't just do that. She has to call, hope that the person is available, the guardian's available, and hope that the guardian is in a particularly generous mood that day to let her have the ability to go have a cup of coffee.
Can I go knock on her facility and say,
hey, good luck.
Take Wendy for lunch? No. All right.
Sure. Good luck. Yeah. You'll be outside for 5 hours like Reverend Sharpton was. So,
and they never let him in?
No, they did. In fact,
they did?
That's a clergy. I called. I said, do you understand what's about to happen if Reverend Sharpton walks away from your facility, yeah, it's something I'm not going to initiate, but my God, the holy hell that's going to be coming down on you guys if a clergy who happens to be a very loud clergy with a very, big mouth, will not be allowed into your facility to see Wendy Williams as clergy.
What if she calls the police and says that she's been kidnapped? She's been restrained.
Yeah, well, that's not really something that's gonna. Yeah, I know. Listen, I mean,
so how do we get to this point? How does that happen? How does this guardian, this unnamed person, how do they get in that role and without any sort of oversight? It looks like.
Yeah. And how does the public help get her out?
By keeping this present. Look, the judges imposed a gag order in this case. And I said to the attorneys, I go, are you guys fighting that? Well, no, the judge imposed a gag order. I'm like,
what?
A gag order. Just because there's not enough lack of transparency. I mean, the whole proceeding is sealed. You can't just walk into it, right?
This is like another case I have, gag orders. Not gag orders, but everything's secret. You got to be secret. Right?
They're not constitutional. Even in my case, in the Rocky case, the one you guys covered, Judge Arnold initially imposed the gag order because John Lewin said, I'm speaking to the press, and so he imposed the gag order for 1 day because then he was told by his lawyers that gag orders are unconstitutional and they are really reserved for the most dire circumstance, like trying to protect the jury or something of that nature. And they're most narrowly tailored of anything in the law because gag orders are inherently in violation of the United States Constitution, right? So in this case, there is no jury. Who is the gag order protecting? Who? The judge from criticism or the guardian from criticism? I mean, it's unbelievable. But the gag order only seemed to work one way because sure enough, a few weeks back, or a few months back, I should say, there was a leak of a report that Wendy was confirmed to have dementia, right? By some other neurologist. Leaked. That was leaked. That's a HIPAA violation. It's a federal crime. Putting that aside, there's a leak of that, but yet no one has seen that report. No one knows who that doctor is. I would love to have a conversation with that doctor under oath, but no one's seen it. No one knows. So it's very frustrating. And I know her lawyers inside the process have relayed that they're also very frustrated. But, there comes a time where you're going to have to throw some bombs here. And being, polite and constantly kicking the can down the road is not fair to Wendy Williams. As we all sit here doing whatever we want to do, I'm going to the Ranger game tonight. As you know, I have to leave soon.
Yeah. We're all trying to work within the system, but then at some point, the system doesn't give you your constitutional rights, and Correct. That's when things blow up.
Yeah, it just shocks me. It just feels like it's worse than jail. At least there's some recourse when you're in jail.
Oh, you're 100% right. And by the way, there are now going to be, and I'm just looking at it now. It's called Wendy's Law that they're proposing, and it's going to be something I think that's going to have some real teeth. I think it's something that there's a city councilman named Frank Morano who is proposing what's called Wendy's Law, and it's a commission to sort of oversee these guardianships so that they're not so secretive, so that they don't lack transparency. But God, Wendy Williams has a voice. She has people. She has friends in the media. Imagine somebody who doesn't. And since I've been in this case, I cannot tell you the number of emails I've received from siblings or children or spouses saying, my loved one is in an unfair guardianship. She can't get out. But they don't have the wherewithal. They don't have the voice. No one knows who Joe Smith is, but everyone knows who Wendy is. And so hopefully she could use this platform to sort of foster some changes.
We'll be willing to help. We think it's outrageous, Joe. And we know that you have to go tonight, so we're going to.
And you have a great reason, though. Anytime there's a sports-related reason, I'm all behind it. I'm good for that.
The Rangers.
But then you have to come back and talk to us more about her and also the other case you have involving Fat Joe. I mean, we don't have enough time to do it.
That's a whole another insane.
So you pick the date. Everybody is waiting for you. They love you. And they don't care if they see your front. They don't care if they see your back. They don't care if you talk about your wife, your son, whatever. You are Joe Taco. You're ASAP Taco, and we love you here at Justice Served TV.
Thank you so much, guys. I love being with you guys. You're really just terrific. And these conversations are so easy to have because you guys know exactly what you're talking about. So it's great.
Thanks,
So
buddy.
thank you.
A pleasure.
Okay,
we
guys.
will be in touch.
Thank you,
Enjoy
guys.
the night.
Bye.
Bye.
Thanks.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean, the cases that Joe gets involved in are just crazy, and I'm just amazed at this whole guardianship thing that has, it's like the Twilight Zone. There's no normal recourse, oversight, or process to reevaluate. It's like it's going to be fine. We'll keep things as they are indefinitely.
Matter of fact,
I don't get it.
Diane Diamond, who is a noted
I know
reporter,
Diane Diamond. We're good friends.
she's written a book about this a couple years
Yeah.
ago, about how you get out to how this happens. Okay, so here we are, and then so we want to actually take this in terms of secrecy, because we know there's a lot of secrecy going on. Speaking about secrecy, and Wendy Williams, that's another area, and you can see that as a financial benefit. But I'm just searching the internet here. I'm looking at Aidan Carney. Today is Monday, November 24th. He tweets, Robert Cosgrove's response to our motion to dismiss and motion to recuse was due 1 week ago. Another day has come and gone without his filing. He told my attorney, he has not told my attorneys anything. We are due a court for oral arguments in 11 days. I'm trying to see, since 5 o'clock has come and gone, was there a filing today? Was there a filing? Does anyone know? Can anyone tell me?
Anybody check the docket lately?
Check the docket. It doesn't appear on Aidan Carney's X account right now. But one of the things we wanted to talk about is, where is Cosgrove? Where is Cosgrove?
The whole thing is just bizarre.
Is he in a Wendy Williams guardianship?
Yeah.
Is there a guardianship? He can't get out.
He may more properly need one. I don't know. So, and what's going to be the result? I'm now with the Aidan Carney case. What's going to be the result of this failure to respond? Normally, it would be pretty severe sanction without contact or any sort of explanation. I'm just not responding. So they go to the hearing on the 5th, if it still happens on the 5th. And what's the prosecution, the Commonwealth's position on that? Oops. Didn't think it was important.
The problem is, if you're an attorney, that they're going to need time to respond.
Well, of course they are, but that's wrong. And that is just continuing the problem that we've seen from the beginning, where you get time to do something and you just keep begging for more time. And Cosgrove was never shy about begging for more time, and he always got more time. I just think you show up on the day of, or within a few days of, and say, yeah, I'm sorry, this kind of slipped my mind. Judge, can I have another 2 weeks? And the court lets him. So at a certain point, it's not the Commonwealth's job. Right? Well, should I go talk to somebody tomorrow while I'm there?
Yeah, maybe where you talk to somebody.
Well, I'm going to be in Salem tomorrow, so they're not in Salem.
You're not in Salem.
My point is, if it gets to that point, and it's already, to me, beyond that point, there is no excuse. What's the court do? At a certain point, it's no longer the Commonwealth's problem. It's the court for not enforcing any sort of sanction.
Do nothing. The court's
That's what I'm afraid. That they are going to do nothing, as they have done to this point.
But the problem is that when it does get filed, Mark Betterow and Aidan Carney are going to need time to respond to that filing. That December 5th date, unless there's a dismissal, ain't looking so good in my view. By the way, speaking about things that look good, I just have to interact here, because even though it's Monday, we usually do Fashion Friday, but we'll do Fashion Monday. Am loving life. I got my Justice Serve TV hoodie and pants along with my tumbler. Love it all. Great copy. I wore my hoodie yesterday. Loved it. Well, if you have X or whatever, post a picture on so we can see it. And what other things do you want me to design? I hope it was one of the things I recently designed. I'm thinking of designing something involving the First Amendment and restraining orders and secrecy. Okay. And secrecy here, let's see, because that's what we're seeing with the courts now. Right. And litigants, filing things, and things are secret. Then you can't even mention when you're going to court. You can't mention anything. What is going on in this world?
I know. I think YouTube has signed on to that lack of transparency.
Yeah, what happened here, Michael? I know we're in the middle. We're in the middle of this.
Sometimes when you keep something away from somebody, it increases the interest in seeing it. We've had this show from last Thursday when we got the Kelsey Fitzsimmons response from the Commonwealth to the appeal that's now pending before the Supreme Judicial Court. And it had a bunch of papers in it in their appendix that nobody else seems to have gotten. We're showing them. We're talking about them in detail. And we get flagged and dumped from YouTube. Not just once, but we're up to about 4 times now because I tried to tweak and remove the little nuggets they felt were bullying or cyber harassment or revealing personal information that shouldn't have been. And every time it was dinged and removed from our channel. So we posted it on X, full unedited show. If anybody hasn't seen it, wants to take a look at it, and then you can watch it and figure out for me how it violates anything. But according to YouTube, it does.
Can I tell you one of the things? I'll give you a secret. One of the things that said it violated
Yeah.
my own wedding pictures that I posted along with my husband taking me out to dinner.
That's inappropriate.
That was inappropriate.
Yeah.
They're mine.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
I was amazed. What they do is, for those who haven't enjoyed the YouTube bot overlord process, they send you a note saying, hey, we've removed this because it violates community standards, or it's bullying, or it's cyber harassment. And then they give a time code on the show. That was a long show because we had so much to go over. It's like an hour, 49 minutes. And so you go to that spot and you see, okay, it looks like one of the police documents, public documents, has an address on it. Okay, fine. You clip that out, you resubmit it, and they flag you again for the next thing. But by the time we got to the 3rd or 4th flag, it was your wedding pictures.
My wedding picture.
So I don't know if somebody's just jerking us around or if the analog bots are just so out of whack.
And our subs suck too. They don't give us our subs.
No, we've actually lost some subs in the process.
They don't give us our subs with regard to that. But I do have some rip and reads. Okay.
Oh, okay. Well, let's get into that.
You know that poker X-ray machine, Chauncey Billups.
Oh yeah.
Well, guess what? The NBA, Chauncey Billups, he was at the Brooklyn courthouse without speaking to the press. There was no surprise there. And he was arraigned. He was charged with money laundering, wire fraud, conspiracy with regard to a rigged poker game in Las Vegas. Now, I'm supposed to be playing a poker tournament tomorrow at a casino. I hope that it's not rigged. I don't think it's rigged, but you do have to watch out for players that may play with each other as a team. So I just, as a poker playing, casual these days, because I don't get a chance. I don't have much time to be traveling around the world. But my friends do, and I do represent several poker players. This is amazing that this happened with the mob. Remember, the mob each had a house. One in Lexington, somebody had this house, somebody that house, and people were getting ripped if they didn't pay up on their losses. I also have another one. This is Karen Reed. Somebody accepted service of process, Michael Bryant. All right, there's been an acceptance of service of process. How do you like that? Can you take a guess who it was? Don't Twitter. Don't Twitter. Don't Twitter. Okay. No. You're gonna love it. Brian Tully, through his lawyers, accepted service of process.
So is he the first official one or the first one named?
Well, he's not the first one named. Proctor's the first one, Buchanan, and then
I don't mean order. I don't mean the order of the complaint. I know that Proctor is number one, which is great because now forever that case will be Reed versus Proctor et al. And Reed versus Proctor synthesizes everything that took place in both of those trials. It was Reed versus Proctor. No, I'm talking about, because I know that there were 2 defendants that I thought had accepted service through their attorney.
Yeah, I don't know. I only know about one. I just thought that what I thought was interesting was that we hadn't get a chance to hear from Tully, but now he's accepted service of process. I have the little document right here in my hot little hand. And then a third thing that we are going to talk about with Doug Weinstein, and it'll air on Friday, would be that the federal court has dismissed the charges against James Comey and Letitia James. We're going to talk about it not in terms of politics. We're going to talk about it in terms of law. Is this right or is this wrong? And that'll be Friday. Your own favorite Doug Weinstein. Can't wait. I'm actually going to do a pre-taping with him tomorrow. So we're wishing you all happy Thanksgiving, but it won't air till after Thanksgiving. We love Dougie, that. And then because
There's
Well,
more.
it's sort of a rip and, but it's a rip and read based on our comments. So, because I just asked what you all want, Donnie Wahlberg wants socks. I just designed a pair of socks with a Justice Serve TV at the ankle. I'll have to go back and see if they have another pair of socks designed, but I just put that into our Christmas for Christmas stocking stuffers. Exactly. So you have to take a look at it. And Jersey Girl Trey says she wants to design a car window cling. I keep requesting it. I'm not sure if Fourth Wall had it. A window cling you can put on your car.
Oh, like a little decal thing that. Yeah. Okay, I got you.
But they have actually, we have a decal, but when I was looking at Fourth Wall, I couldn't find one. If you go to Fourth Wall products, the generic products, and send me the link to where they have a cling, I will design it and I will put it up, since I've kind of taken over the designing, only because you know me and shopping.
Yeah. Who could stop you?
Who could stop you? Anything else that you may want. Okay. So somebody says, by the way, with regard to our thingy, but Justin for the show. So when we're doing our Kelsey Fitzsimmons discussion on her request for documents, we called them Justin A. I mean, all these, and we couldn't even, the address pinged, right, of where she used to live, even though it was on Realtor.com, Redfin, even though people were talking about it, it was unbelievable. And we can't get an overlord person. We'd like an overlord person. Oh, this is a very good one. Signs. Let me take a screenshot of this. Michael Bryan signs, do the right thing. Yeah, let's see if I can do something with regard to that. Do the right thing. And then what else do you all want? A magnet style. I thought we had a magnet. Maybe I took it off. I'll have to take a look at that. What else? I'm going down here. You know, you can send me suggestions at justiceservetv@gmail.com, and it may be easier. Madeira Beach caregiver, always a fan. Thank you for that donation. Justice Serve TV family, go watch the movie. I care a lot. It's despicable. The system allowing strangers to take over seniors' entire life. A huge patient advocate, and this shit needs to stop. It's mind-boggling. Yes, people don't even realize it's going on. It's unbelievable what's happening.
And Madeira Beach caregiver is in a unique position. I'm sure that she brushes up against that a lot. So,
right.
Yeah, I can't believe how it's almost like once you're in that system, nobody can get in. Nobody can get in to fix it, to monitor it, to make adjustments. It's just, nope, you're in conservatorship now, and a guardianship. It's just unbelievable.
So thank you, Madeira Beach caregiver, for that Thanksgiving donation. We really appreciate it. It keeps us going. You know, everyone here is volunteering their time, helping, and we are trying to get to 33,000 subs. But as I said, we kind of like been stopped.
We're going backwards.
We're going backwards because I guess my wedding pictures were a violation of community standards. I guess you can't get married and you can't celebrate 25 years of having silver anniversary.
That's still, I mean, some of the other notes, even though outrageous because the information was all public and we weren't revealing anything people didn't already know, I could at least, you know, from a bot standpoint, I could see how they might focus. Oh, there's an address. Okay. But pictures of, what would the bot think those pictures are of to flag them? I have no idea.
Especially since we're talking about my wedding, especially since my husband was on. You can't make this up in today's world, and it's going to get worse because our life is going to be controlled by AI soon, unless we take over. We'll all be in a guardianship, an AI guardianship.
Yeah, well, that's
scary thought.
Yes, it is.
So let's check once more. Let's see once more before we go whether or not there is a filing. I don't know if we can check the docket that quickly, but
I don't have that one flagged, so I cannot help you.
So
by the time I get in, it might be too late.
Let's see. I don't see anything else from Aiden. Let's look at Mark Betterow Law, to see whether he has mentioned anything. And you know, things could be filed. I mean, things could still be filed. It's still filing possible. Okay. I'm looking at Mark, but I don't see it. So if you find it, it happens when we're off, let us know. Let us know when that filing comes back, because we were hoping to be able to discuss it. We couldn't imagine if we could go beyond a week. But
no, it was outrageous. It's moved to shocking, and it's well on its way to unacceptable. And I hope the court does something about it. Anything.
And Dear B,
Any enforcement, any penalty,
back again.
anything.
Famous California case indicted for the caregiver, attorney, and the judge. Wow.
Yeah.
I
They
had a
just seem to act
thought.
with impunity, and it's wrong. So
Yeah, really.
let's fix that system. Let's that Wendy's law sounds very interesting. Folks should follow that. That's for New York, but start somewhere. You got to get everybody else involved.
All right, Michael Bryant.
All right.
I'm going to tell everybody to subscribe, share, like, and notify. And when you get notified, hopefully you watch quickly, just in case we get dinged and get off the air.
It's like an expiration date. And don't forget, tomorrow I'll be in Salem, so we'll have some reports from there in the morning, and then whatever interviews we get in the afternoon, and I'll just throw those up.
So we're not taking the week off, as it turns out.
Well, we're kind of massaging the week off. So we're around, but we're not our normal 6 o'clock thing. So,
but there'll be something posted on Wednesday. There'll be the Doug Weinstein post on Friday, and then on Saturday we'll be posting about Mark Sanchez.
Yeah, and we have some Kelsey Fitzsimmons stuff for tomorrow. Not just the hearing I'm going to, but
You're
also
going up there.
Yeah, not just that, but the discovery that was requested and what that all means. We'll be talking about that as well. It's part of another little show. So
stay, get that subscribe in, and then hit that notify all, because he will be on the air, Michael Bryant, tomorrow as he goes up again to the Triangle of Terror.
Yeah, and next week I'll be up there again because Brian Walsh. So anyway, hey, if we don't talk like this again, have an amazing Thanksgiving, everybody. You too, partner.
Thank you, Michael Bryant. You too. Then Domino also. Don't give him
and
too much
2B and the doctor. Hey, everybody. Try to do the right thing.
Ashes on the sky.